of Earth, it's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And today we're talking about farming or orchard making or apple creating. That's right. Come along on this ride with me to talk about how do we make apples. Okay, so I taught my groundswell method intensive program today, week five, where in week 5 we talk about how do you share your message with the world. Right? We spend a lot of time up front building, posting our messages, and then we get into the strategic side of how do we actually begin to share all that we have captured and created in our messaging. So the analogy that came out today, which I've never said this before, but I had this thought earlier in the week, like, how do you make an apple? How do you make an apple? You can't make an apple. You have to make a tree. The tree makes the apple, right? So it's such a great metaphor for marketing because an apple is the fruit of the tree. Now, in marketing, the fruit of relationship, the fruit of your effort is business, a lead, clients who say, I want to work with you. But the problem is that most of us aren't focused on planting trees or building trees. We're focused on trying to make apples. And the problem is you can't make an apple. You have to plant a tree. So let's make this even more specific to you. In marketing, in business, you can't just go make a lead, okay? The best you could do is like buy a lead from somebody who does Facebook ads for you, okay? Or go onto Facebook and try to run an ad to produce a lead. But the challenge with that approach is that even in advertising, even in Facebook land, when you're running ads, the challenge is it takes time to learn how to make an ad, to test all the ads you want to run, to try different audiences that you're running that ad to, all in attempts to find out what produces the fruit. But do you see that all the effort invested in you learning how to run an ad, for example, is about planting a tree? And the minute you don't, maybe you run $20, $200, $2,000, maybe you've run $200,000 in ads and they haven't produced fruit. There's no apple. And you're like, this doesn't work. This advertising stuff sucks. It doesn't work. Right. Well, there you are saying to the tree that you planted 6 months into a sapling, you're like, hey, sapling, you haven't produced any fruit yet. Where's my fruit? Stupid trees. These trees produce no fruit. Do you know that an apple tree won't produce an apple for at least a couple years? At least a couple years. I think some of us in marketing our expectations are so impossible. Your expectations are so impossible that you have misjudged what this game is. You got in thinking you were just going to go bob for apples in the land of marketing, when in fact, what you signed up for was to be a farmer planting trees. You are basically growing your own orchard if you can stick it out, if you can last in this game. So you can see that if you approach marketing the way it really is, which is more like farming, you're going to have to plant seeds over and over and over again, and then nurture those seeds and let them grow and nurture them some more and be patient for the harvest. Because what happens is if you grow an orchard of apple trees, you will have a bounty of apples. But most of you are sitting there trying to pay somebody at the supermarket for an apple. And what you really want is an orchard that is bountifully supplying you apple after apple after apple. But again, that is not how you approached marketing. You approached marketing like, well, if I just show up and do a couple ads or go to a couple networking meetings, I should be able to produce some fruit. I should be able to produce a lead, an apple. When in fact, you actually need to plant apple trees to get apples. So let's boil this down and send you off, shall we? If you are wanting to have an abundant harvest of fruit called leads, called people who want to work with you, then you need to adjust your expectations, number one. You need to begin planting seeds of truth, seeds of communication, seeds of consistently showing up for your people every day in marketing. You don't plant a tree one day, go away, and a year later come back and the tree is living. No, you have to nurture that tree. So you're going to plant the seed, you're going to adjust your expectations, and you're going to start showing up for your people to take care of your people in conversation, which is your marketing. And over time, what you'll notice in hindsight is that you have nurtured an orchard of apple trees that yield a bountiful harvest of apples. But it does not happen the other way. You cannot just go out and say, I'm going to produce an apple today. And this is where most of you are feeling frustrated by marketing, because you think you can just have a lead yesterday, right? Or tomorrow. All right, gang. So here's what there is to do. If you're serious about actually building an orchard of apples, right? An orchard of trees that produce a bounty of apples. And what happens is you need to be consistent in marketing. You need a framework for marketing. You need to show up consistently with truth, not gimmicks, not scarcity, not all the things that most people think of when they think of marketing. You need to show up with truth. True marketing in its simplest form is you capturing truth, or you finding truth, and then you sharing truth. That is marketing in its simplest form, is you find truth and you share it. You find truth and you share it. That is marketing in its simplest form. And if you would like help for how to find truth and share it, that's what my 6-week program, the Groundswell Method Intensive, is about. So exactly what we do. You get 6 sessions with me in a group setting, plus 2 one-on-one coaching sessions with me. And the way to find out about that program is to go to groundswellmethod.com. The link is in the comments of this post. Groundswellmethod.com. Watch the free videos, because that gives you a sense of what the 6 weeks are all about. And then on the last video, right, there's an application button under the video, and you can fill out the application. It comes to me and we can talk from there. At the time of this recording, the next intensive program that starts is March 2nd. Okay. So we're coming up on that. So if you're interested and you want to build an orchard that yields apples for decades, then you need to start here by building a framework that allows you to show up consistently and nurture the trees you've planted. Thanks for hanging out with me here tonight in this episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until tomorrow when we go live again, here's to you planting trees, not making apples.